Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're taking a deep dive into the art of necklace layering, and I promise you, we're going to completely demystify the whole process. We're taking what usually feels like a frustrating hit-or-miss guessing game and turning it into a foolproof, measurable system. So get ready to build your absolute perfect stack, layer by intentional layer.
We've literally all been there, right? You spend 20 minutes in front of the mirror, delicately untangling a jewelry knot like you're some kind of bomb technician. You painstakingly arrange your pieces, and then they just morph into a messy clump by the time you even get to your car. It is the universal struggle of throwing on jewelry without a clear game plan.
Now, contrast that messy reality with the promised land of perfect, intentional layering. Just look at this aspirational stack. Notice how each piece actually has room to breathe. They're catching the light independently, completely without fighting each other for attention. It looks so effortless, but as we're about to see, getting this kind of elegance actually requires a little bit of structural planning.
Which brings us to part 1, measuring your perfect canvas. This is the absolute foundation of a great stack.
Because before we can even think about layering, we have to measure. And hey, if you don't happen to own a flexible tape measure, there's a brilliantly simple 3-step hack for this. First, just grab a piece of everyday string. Second, wrap it around your neck, leaving exactly 1 finger's width of space, for comfort. And finally, just add 2 to 4 inches to whatever that measurement is. Boom! Just like that, you found exactly where your base necklace is meant to rest naturally against your skin.
Okay, so the crucial next step here is actually knowing your categories. Looking at the industry standards, your shortest option is the 14 to 16-inch choker, which is perfect for framing higher up on V-necks or scoop necks. Right below that, we have the classic 16 to 18-inch princess length. This is widely considered your most universally flattering, most versatile choice. Meanwhile, if you're dealing with high necklines, that longer 20 to 24-inch matinee length is going to be your reliable go-to. See, your clothing actually dictates the size of your canvas. A deep V-neck practically craves those shorter chokers and princess lengths, right? Because they naturally follow the shape of the fabric. On the flip side, crew and high necks absolutely demand longer matinee lengths to prevent visual crowding. The golden rule here, the jewelry has to support the outfit, not fight it for space. All right, let's move on to part 2, the 3-piece layering formula. It's all about giving every necklace a specific job. Okay, here is the ultimate stylist secret. If 2 pieces are doing the exact same job at the exact same height, your neckline just looks too busy. You have to assign one of 3 specific roles to every necklace you put on. First, the foundation, a short, clean chain framing the upper neckline. Second, the focal point. This is your anchor pendant or motif that's telling the story. And third, the finisher, a longer piece adding that crucial vertical movement and balance. You assign these jobs and your stack instantly goes from accidental to highly intentional. But you always want to start with the necklace that matters most. And listen, your anchor piece doesn't have to be the biggest or the most expensive thing you own. It just has to be the one you want the eye to notice first. Maybe it's a piece with deep emotional meaning, a specific gemstone, or just a favorite delicate station chain. Everything else you put on that day is literally just there to support this one-star player.
Next up, part 3, spacing and visual balance. Let's create some breathing room for your jewelry.
When you look at the geometry of your stack, keep in mind that the lengths printed on a necklace box are just starting points. You kind of have to engineer the gaps yourself. For example, in a 3-piece stack, say a 16, a 20, and a 28-inch chain, maintaining 4 or more inches of visible spacing between your focal points is the absolute sweet spot. That specific distance gives a pendant the room it needs to move naturally over your clothing without banging into the chain sitting right above it. I absolutely love this insight from the source material. The most polished combinations usually feel collected rather than perfectly matched. It just totally relieves the pressure of feeling like you need to rush out and buy expensive, perfectly matching sets. True style comes from curating pieces that actually represent you. It's like a giant puzzle. You want a stack that feels uniquely gathered over years, not just bought straight out of a catalog in one afternoon.
Moving into part 4, styling diamonds and mixed metals. This is basically the interior design of your stack. When it comes to layering diamonds, restraint is totally the name of the game. Just look at the diamond hierarchy rule in action right here. Notice that really dense, highly brilliant tennis necklace? It's acting as the statement base, and it's perfectly balanced by a lighter, delicate chain, dropping below it where the diamonds are spaced widely apart. The eye knows exactly where to look because the pieces aren't fighting for the exact same kind of sparkle. And hey, even if you stick to a single metal tone, like an all-gold look, you still really need dimension.
You get that by combining entirely different silhouettes. Take a chunky, substantial link chain as your foundation, drop a delicate circle pendant below it, and finish it off with a longer, lightweight chain. Doing this creates incredible visual texture and depth without needing even a single drop of color contrast. But what if you do want to mix metals? Well, if you're bringing silver or white gold into a yellow gold stack, there's a super simple checklist to follow. First, choose one dominant metal tone. Second, introduce your contrasting metal at a totally different length. And here's the real trick. Repeat that contrast. Maybe your second metal pops up again in a two-tone bridge piece, or it matches your earrings. As long as you keep one design element consistent, mixing metals looks completely intentional rather than just accidental. Finally, Part 5, Protecting Your Jewelry Stack. Time for the maintenance guide. Because, let's be real, mastering all this gorgeous styling means absolutely nothing if your carefully curated layers turn into a knotted mess by noon. When it comes to maintenance, prevention is absolutely key. Using visibly different links is your first line of defense. But beyond that, check those clasps securely before you wear them. Put each necklace on separately and always remove them before sleeping or hitting the gym. Oh, and store them on individual hooks or in separate compartments. Keeping chains from touching each other literally saves you endless untangling time. So we've covered the measurements, the formulas, the spacing, and the styling. You officially have the complete stylist's blueprint. The only thing left to do is actually begin. I encourage you to look in your own jewelry box right now, not just as an owner, but as a curator. Look past the tangles and the mismatched sets and ask yourself, what is the one piece that truly tells your story? So what will your anchor piece be?